name is Dr. Stephen Daniel, and this is my beautiful bride, Beth. We are the co-founders of QuantumTechniques.com, the most advanced form of diagnostic energy medicine practiced remotely throughout the world. And we want to bring you some exciting news that brings hope to millions of people. You know, it's nice to start introducing a group of what I call renegade doctors. They're not wedded to the model that you need a drug to fix everything in your life, and usually those drugs are, you know, multi-billion-dollar profits for the pharmaceutical company. You have to understand the pharmaceutical company is not interested in cure. They just want to put you on expensive medications for the rest of your life that you're dependent upon them to purchase. So they're really not in the business of cure, and I think that needs to be up front. But Bresidon's book, Dr. Bresidon, The End of Alzheimer's, the first program to prevent and reverse cognitive decline. Okay. And so I've got some notes written out on this, but he basically tells people, he doesn't know what quantum techniques is, but do quantum techniques. Well, quantum techniques is about controlling inflammation in your body. Now, where do most of this inflammation come in on? Okay, hidden pathogen fields, the toxicity of your diet, especially high sugar, you know, high gluten, high carb, high dairy. Dairy's number one for cognitive decline. All the toxicity in your life, hidden pathogens. Okay, let me see what my other major source of inflammation is. It's, you know, just the toxins in your environment, like all the heavy metals and stuff that you get hit with. Chemicals. And so he really recommends proper diet, nutritional support, which Beth will talk about, low sugars, zero dairy, high healthy fat diet. Okay. He has ideas about genetic testing and supplements, which we can test for you. Now, a lot of this is related to insulin resistance. And so I'll do another YouTube video on the Diabetes Code by Dr. Fung, where his research just really collaborates with this. That if you cannot control or choose to have a lifestyle that doesn't control your glucose levels, you're much more vulnerable to develop Alzheimer's or other chronic illnesses. Okay. And it even talks about, you know, the current model is high carbs, low fat, and put you on statin drugs. That's pretty much a guaranteed recipe to develop dementia. It's the current medical model. And then if you add undealt with dental issues, you're kind of done. It's just a matter of time before it hits you. Now, the thing that QT adds to that is the whole field of neuroplasticity that we can address with energetic treatments. So neuroplasticity in the work that we do, what causes the brain ruts in the road that leads to the cognitive rigidity and loss of function, heavy metals and hidden viruses most of the time. So we can add to that work with our work, but this is a groundbreaking book, and it offers hope for people where we didn't have it before. And my wife is the supplement expert, so I'll let her speak.
Not sure why I'm standing here. I'm standing here to hold the book.
We needed some beautiful decoration.
Oh, thanks.
Well,
okay, we're starting the video over.
No, but
I'm just kidding.
You have an expertise on supplements that I know. That's why you're here.
Oh, okay.
There we go.
This book rocks, plain and simple.
Right.
Every household should have a copy of this book around the world. I'm serious about that. The groundbreaking thing that Bredesen has discovered as to why no medications work for Alzheimer's is there are multiple subtypes of Alzheimer's. Who knew? He does. There are multiple subtypes, and depending on your subtype, for example, Steve was talking about blood sugar regulation. There is a subtype of Alzheimer's where blood sugar regulation is a big deal for that person. They have blood sugar problems. There are other people with another type, okay, that's not a problem. Okay, so he talks about testing for hormones, for example. Okay, there are many people with Alzheimer's that are very low on hormones and they need some kind of supplementary bioidentical hormones. He talks about that. Okay, what are the supplements for each subtype of Alzheimer's? He beautifully talks about that. And then we at Quantum Techniques can test to see which ones are good for somebody at which dosage, in case they tend to have a sensitivity and an allergy to something that he recommends. So that's how QT can come in and do some testing. We also test people for their diet. So based on the dietary recommendations here for the type that they're dealing with, we can help somebody fine-tune their diet. But like Steve was mentioning, basically no dairy, no sugar, no alcohol, no grains, and then some specific recommendations. But high fat, grass-fed meats and so on, and you'll hear about all of that in here as well. So if you're interested in, the protocol is called the Recode protocol. Dr. Bredesen has trained and is training practitioners, doctors around the world. I've got clients in Australia, clients in other countries that have been going to see a Recode doctor because he's starting to train a lot of people. So that's wonderful news. You can go into one of these doctors and they can tell you exactly what testing they need to determine what type of Alzheimer's you have and then where to go from there. Then our testing comes in, we can test the supplements for you, diet recommendations, help you get on your way, and then do our neuroplasticity treatment. Plus we have a miasm treatment to deal with the genetic vulnerabilities of the subtype of Alzheimer's that is APOE4, which is absolutely a genetic inherited condition where people are terrified if they find out they have it. We are able to treat that with our miasm treatment to help lower their vulnerability to getting this as they age. Steve was also talking about pathogens. Some of the main places, and again, Quantum Techniques, we treat pathogens as well, and we test for pathogens, where they are in the body. There's a big dental component with specific bacteria that can get into the brain. There's a urinary and bladder component that is involved with a lot of different types of Alzheimer's. People will have a history of bladder infections and how that affects their cognition. They may not have Alzheimer's at all. They may have terrible bladder infection. So we're really good at helping with those pieces as well. Metals in the body, mercury in the mouth, vaccine histories where people have had one shot after the other in the military or for some missionary families, for example. So we're able to help you clear that toxicity, but this is a wonderful roadmap for the end of Alzheimer's. And blessings to Dr. Bredesen for this phenomenal book and his wife for giving him the idea about researching this. She's a functional medicine doctor.
I want to add two things you want to avoid. Any absolutely non-mandatory vaccinations. Vaccinations will create a brain insult. Secondly, absolutely any unnecessary anesthesias. Right? People in their 60s and 70s getting this, I know it's maybe, I don't mean this as a judgment, but unnecessary cosmetic surgeries. Or, now it's time to fix all of my teeth. Even if you've got the money, those are brain insults. Now, we can help you clear that with Quantum Techniques. But if you want to keep your mind, those are not good choices. You might have a beautiful smile, just not remember who it was in front of you that you were smiling at.
Yeah.
So there are certain things that are just bad unless they're absolutely mandatory for life survival. And additional anesthesias and additional vaccinations are part of that.
No artificial sweeteners and drink water.
Right.
Yeah. Awesome book. We had to share it. Thanks for listening.
Blessings.